DVD, When Will I See You Smile Again? Perfect song for the topic at hand. So over the weekend, of course, Chris Rock's Selective Outrage aired on Netflix. It was live. I think that's interesting. It was an interesting choice because generally when you do a special, I've done 11 of them. When you do a special, you get 2 or 3 bites of the apple. You get to edit and pick angles and jokes that particularly might work particularly better on a segment or two. But this was just a raw feed. We got to see exactly what happened in real time if you were watching it. But even if you did just see it, it was him, no edits, being exactly who he was. And I got to tell you, in my personal estimation, it was brilliant. I'm a student of Chris Rock, a comedy and a fan of Chris Rock. I thought he did a brilliant job. I thought that he did what artists do. And one of the things I've always been fascinated with being one and seeing them is they use art to reflect their mood, their pain, and their joys. And he did exactly that. One of the things I was struck by with the Netflix special is that when he got to the Will Smith, Jada Smith, and that entanglement, for lack of a better word, that the comments, some of course were glowing and thinking it was hilarious. Some, of course, maybe not thought it was funny. I thought it was brilliant. But one of the things I thought was particularly interesting and very pervasive is the amount of people who said things like, yeah, it's happened so long ago, he should get over it. I remember when I was a boy, which was a very long time ago now. One of the things that used to happen is that whenever something happened to me or to one of my brothers or sisters, my mother would say, you better get over it. How long are you going to be mad? And I've taken that into my relationship with my children, with the people that I love around me. How long are you going to be mad? I think that it's cruel and counterproductive to put your clock or calendar on someone else's trauma. It is one of the reasons we have so much unhealed trauma now. Because you say, or the society says, how long are they going to keep talking about that? Why do they bring that up? Why always? It's been so long. How dare you or anyone tell anyone what timetable they have to deal with things they've had to deal with? How dare you do that? Who are you to tell someone exactly when, where, how, and in what form they should deal with their tragedy? If it didn't happen to you, and I'm talking about any number of things, I think that it's cruel to do that. I think it's cruel to tell someone that they have to get over it, that you're tired of hearing about it. If you're tired of hearing about somebody else's tragedy, don't be shocked when they're tired of hearing about yours. And all of us have them. Who are you to set your clock to tell someone how much time they have to deal with the things that happened to them? That it happened so long ago. Why do you get over it? And it's ironic that everybody gotten a chance to express themselves about that particular event but him. I didn't see him on talk shows. I didn't see him go anywhere. If I did hear anything, it was somebody talking about maybe what he said on stage. But he didn't go do interviews. He was the only one out of all the people in the world that didn't get to say what he thought about what happened to him. And in mass, several people were saying, oh, well, get over it. That happened a long time ago. Would you? There are things from your childhood that you're dealing with. I know I am. Things that happened to you years and years ago that you're dealing with. All you got to do is have a relationship with an argument with your significant other and see if that holds true. That there's a time clock for when things can be brought up. It's ironic that some of the very people who now say that Chris Rock should move on and get over it and stop talking about are some of the very people who get upset when people say that you should get over slavery because it happened so long ago. Or that you shouldn't bring that up because it happened so long ago. If you've decided that you don't want to hear about somebody else's tragedy because in your mind it's happened a long time ago, because they should have had time to deal with it, they should have time to move on, there are things that you should remove from your lexicon. There are things that you should be forbidden to say anymore. If you've decided that you don't want to hear something after a certain time, that tragedy has a time clock or a time stamp, or a date, a time, a date that is sunset, that is no longer relevant, there's a word that you personally should take out of your lexicon. And that word is reparations. That's a little note from the GED section. We got the Jazz Report coming up in 15 minutes. It's the D.L. Hughley Show.